Scrolling your phone at night might feel harmless, but it could be quietly wrecking your sleep. That soft glow from your screen is packed with blue light that tells your brain it's still daytime right when it should be winding down. Ever notice how hard it is to fall asleep after a late-night scroll, or why you wake up groggy the next day? There's a real biological reason for that. Let's break down what's happening in your brain after sunset, and a few simple ways to fix it without giving up your favorite evening habits. Exposure to blue light after sunset suppresses melatonin production, delaying your body's natural sleep signal. Think of melatonin as your brain's internal night mode, the chemical that tells your body it's time to wind down, lower alertness, and prepare for sleep. When you're scrolling on your phone, watching TV, or sitting under bright LED lights in the evening, your eyes send a message to your brain that it's still daytime. That light, especially blue wavelengths, hits specialized cells in your retina that directly communicate with your brain's circadian clock, and the result is a delayed release of melatonin. So even if you feel tired, your brain is getting mixed signals and struggles to fully transition into sleep mode. This is why you might lie in bed feeling wired or take longer to fall asleep after a late-night screen session. A simple way to counter this is to dim your lights after sunset, switch to warmer lighting, and use blue light filters or night mode on your devices. Even better, create a cutoff time like 1 hour before bed where you reduce or eliminate screen exposure entirely. Small changes like this help your brain recognize that night has arrived, making it much easier to fall asleep naturally and consistently. Evening blue light exposure shifts your circadian rhythm later, making it harder to fall asleep and wake up on time. Your circadian rhythm is like an internal 2-4 hour clock that regulates when you feel alert and when you feel sleepy. When you expose yourself to blue light late in the evening, you essentially push that clock forward, telling your brain that bedtime should happen later than it normally would. Over time, this creates a pattern where you don't feel sleepy at your intended bedtime, and then in the morning, you struggle to wake up because your body still thinks it's nighttime. This is especially common if you use your phone in bed or watch bright screens late into the night. You might notice that you feel more awake at midnight than you did at 10 p.m., and then groggy and unfocused the next morning. To fix this, try anchoring your evening routine with consistent dim lighting and reducing screen brightness well before bed. You can also expose yourself to natural light in the morning, which helps reset your internal clock. The combination of less blue light at night and more light in the morning trains your brain to keep a stable rhythm, making sleep and wake times feel more natural. Blue light at night reduces deep sleep and REM quality, disrupting your brain's recovery and memory processes. Sleep isn't just about how long you're in bed, it's about the quality of the different sleep stages your brain cycles through. Deep sleep is when your body repairs itself and your brain clears out metabolic waste, while REM sleep is critical for memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and learning. When blue light exposure delays melatonin and disrupts your circadian timing, it can compress or fragment these important stages. That means even if you get what looks like a full night of sleep, you may wake up feeling unrefreshed, foggy, or emotionally off. You might find it harder to concentrate, remember things, or stay patient throughout the day. To protect these critical sleep stages, focus on creating a wind-down routine that signals to your brain that it's safe to transition into deeper sleep. Lower the lights, avoid stimulating content, and consider using warm-colored lamps or candles in the evening. By protecting your brain from late-night blue light, you're not just improving sleep duration, you're preserving the quality of the mental recovery your brain depends on. Late-night screen use keeps your brain in a heightened state of alertness, making it harder to mentally unwind. It's not just the light itself, it's also what you're doing on those screens. Whether you're checking emails, watching fast-paced videos, or scrolling through social media, your brain is actively processing information, reacting emotionally, and staying engaged. Blue light amplifies this effect by signaling daytime alertness, so your brain stays in a go mode instead of shifting into rest mode. This combination makes it difficult to slow your thoughts when you finally decide to go to bed. You might notice your mind racing, replaying things you saw or read, or feeling restless even in a quiet room. To counter this, think of your evening as a gradual dimmer switch rather than an abrupt off button. Replace stimulating screen time with lower intensity activities like reading a physical book, stretching, or listening to calm audio. If you do need to use devices, keep the brightness low and content low stimulation. Giving your brain time to disengage is just as important as reducing light exposure, and together they make falling asleep feel much more effortless. Consistent exposure to blue light after sunset can lead to chronic sleep debt, impairing focus, mood, and long-term brain health. When your sleep is repeatedly delayed or disrupted, even by small amounts each night, it adds up over time into what's known as sleep debt. You might not immediately notice the impact, but it shows up as reduced concentration, slower thinking, irritability, and lower productivity during the day. Over weeks and months, this pattern can affect your mental resilience, decision-making, and even increase the risk of mood disorders. The tricky part is that many people normalize this feeling, assuming it's just part of a busy lifestyle, when in reality, it's often tied to evening habits like prolonged screen exposure. The good news is that this is one of the most fixable issues. Start by setting a consistent digital sunset, where you intentionally reduce blue light exposure at the same time each night. Pair that with a consistent bedtime and wake time, even on weekends. These habits help your brain rebuild a stable sleep pattern, reducing accumulated fatigue and restoring your ability to think clearly and feel balanced throughout the day.